Mario Kart World just got a brand new update, which adds a whole bunch of changes, including a lot of changes to the routes leading up to Koopa Troopa Beach specifically. Now that's cool and all, but like, you know, everyone's made videos on that at this point. What I want to look at specifically here is the fact that there's now custom items, which makes adding Kamek Only a possibility. And this mode is a lot of fun, because it's just complete chaos. Look at all these Kameks floating around in the air. They're flying like they're migrating for the summer or something. Look at all the alright, we're already seeing the chaos here. You can hardly drift. That's part of the fun. There's a whole bunch of Goombas, Boom Booms, now there's Spike Balls. This is look at my screen. This is what I wanted to look at today. I wanted to see how many tracks would be fun to play with this new rule set. Cause I mean, this is a rule set, you know. Even Nintendo tweeted about it. They said, you know, you could do this having Kameks Only. Just like you can have like Spinies only, you know, Blue Shells only. But I mean, just look at this. It's just complete chaos. Can I take the rail without getting affected? I don't know. I just go here either way. Look, I'm a Goomba now. It doesn't even matter what my character choice is, because it's just gonna keep changing every 5 seconds. You know, if I want to be Nabbit, that's cool. But I'm gonna be Goomba the entire way, because I guess on Mario Bros. Circuit, it's mostly Goombas that appear, which is funny. I can't even do anything, bro. This is the ultimate equalizer. I can't even stay first for too long, because I'm just gonna get blown to smithereens back and forth. I can't even drift. You know, the worst part about this is not even just a whole bunch of items. It's every time you get transformed, you just can't drift. So it's like, if you want to maneuver your way around this, you hardly can. See, I tried to take the grind rail there, but the spike ball apparently counted as hitting me, so it just knocked me right off. Like, goddamn. Okay, can I get a win here? I was actually not expecting to struggle this much. Like, hold on. I know what'll do the trick. A few more Kamek Orbs. Alright. I want to get as many of these as possible so that... Oh, wait, I'm in first now. Hang on. The strat here is probably not... Dude, I can't get the... The strat here is probably not to get as many Kamek Orbs as you want, because you're just gonna be... Look, you're just gonna be hurting yourself at that point. You see how many chain chomps there are here? Like, Jesus Christ. Alright, somehow I got a victory off of that. Look at the minimap. Everyone's just turning into different characters. And you wonder why there weren't any custom items at launch. Like, come on. They probably had to configure the whole game around the fact that this is a possibility. Like, seriously. This was definitely not what they were intending, but now we have it. So I'm just gonna try out a few races, you know, on some certain tracks just to see how it's like with the new, you know, Kamek item only mode, because I know for a fact that certain tracks have certain obstacles that appear whenever you use the Kamek Orb, you know, like whether it's intermissions or just the straight up courses themselves, like especially this one, you know. I wonder what we're gonna see a lot of when we go into Moo Moo Meadows here. Oh, a bunch of Biddy Buds, of course. That's what I meant. I guess, you know, there's not just cows here. There's also a few Biddy Buds. I mean, I hardly see that. I thought they would just spawn cows, but you know what? There's enough cows on the track. Oh, there you go. Hey, who wants to go down Cow Avenue? What's up, y'all? What's up? It's me, Charging Chuck. If you played Mario Kart World and you thought, man, there just aren't enough cows in this game, there aren't enough Boom Booms, there aren't enough chain chomps in the middle of the road, then this is the update for you, because you can do anything that you could ever please now in this video game, alright? This has become a perfect video game. I mean, I already thought it was great before, but now, with this update, it's way better than I could ever think of, bro. I just bounced off of the cow. I didn't even know I could do that. I thought I would get hurt. I can't drift. You know what? I'm going this way where there's no cows, or any obstacles of any kind, because apparently the Kameks only know one way to go, which is kind of funny. I thought they would be programmed to add items literally everywhere, but I guess not. What's a milk company that I can say this is their dream come true? I don't really know. But this is Lactade's dream come true. Isn't Lactade like dairy free? I don't know. Maybe it's the opposite. It's a lot of dairy is what I'm saying. There's so much here. It's unbelievable. I'm becoming the dairy. Like, Jesus Christ. Alright, let me across the finish line. Let me across it. Please? I want to meet a cow on the way there, bro. The camera? Okay, why did the camera do that? Usually it gives you a little animation when you get first place. It's because I was changing in the middle of getting first place. So that's why it didn't give me any animation at all. And you know what people say the worst part about DK Pass is? or maybe, you know, like just a bad part, is the fact that there's no snowmen anywhere as obstacles in this track that used to have snowmen. So, you know, what if we went here and just turned on Kameks Only and made it so that there's a whole bunch of snowmen obstacles in the path? Now, I actually think that they spawn snow pokies instead, which, you know, see right there? I mean, that makes sense, you know, they're kind of snowmen in a way, but, you know, the actual snowman racer that's in this game used to be an obstacle on this track right at the very end, and, you know, and some paths leading up to the mountain, but for some reason, you know, it's just not here anymore. And I feel like the reasoning for that is that you can make obstacles appear with the Kamek Orbs, so why would they make it so that there's normal obstacles in the path? See, look, the snowmen are here. See, it's just like DK Paths from Mario Kart 7 and Mario Kart DS. It's just, we're back home. We fixed the track. We actually added obstacles where the obstacles are supposed to be. That's very interesting to see, actually, that they specifically programmed those snowmen to appear right there in DK Pass and not anywhere else. So it is like they knew that, you know, Kamek was supposed to make the snowmen appear right there. Okay, well, they're appearing here, but maybe it's random. I don't know. There's a whole bunch of stuff appearing. Okay, never mind. They're appearing here. They're an obstacle that can appear, besides the snow pokies and the chain chomps. But, yeah, I always thought that was weird, where it's like, you know, that we're just not gonna add the obstacle because there's a chance, you know, a very rare chance that Kamek will appear and add the obstacles for us. It's like, okay, first of all, Kamek is not that common. I feel like in this update, though, Kamek is more common. Like, besides, you know, the fact that you can add Kamek Only as a mode to the video game, I think the Kamek item, when I was playing online, I feel like it just came up more often than, you know, it was before, which was like almost never. So I'm glad, you know, to see that this item that actually causes chaos is more common. And, you know, not just causing chaos, but also, you know, unlocking characters. Because this was the only way before that you could unlock characters. Before, you know, actually the patch that added the UFO method, where you can unlock characters by just going into free roam and then just sucking them up like an alien with your UFO before you probe them, and then you become them with your alien technology. I guess that's the lore that Nintendo's trying to say there. But now, it's easy as hell. So anyone who's getting this game on Black Friday for completely free, since Nintendo is just making it completely free in their Black Friday bundles now, apparently. You know, Mario Kart World is a free game now. You can't even say it's an $80 game anymore, bro. It's free. Now anyone who's getting this game for free is able to play and just get all the characters they want instantly. I know it's not a free game. I got it for $50. I'd say that was a worthwhile price for the game. But who cares about that? All I care about is that I got third place and not first place. Which means this is not a good track to play Kameks Only on. Because first of all, there's a lot of turns. I should have seen that coming. If you can't drift around the turns, then what can you do? Get hit by snow pokies? But yeah, this was a good track to test this on, because I get to see that, you know, this is what the track would actually look like if it had obstacles. So, I mean, that's fantastic. I wonder what else we could see with this. You know, another track I felt didn't have enough obstacles in it was Peach Beach. I think, you know, the beginning here used to have a lot more cataquacks, or at least, you know, the cataquacks were more prominent. But now it's just like, you know, you can just drive on the water and avoid them. And, you know, they don't even, like, do much normally. Like, you see them there, they're just completely out of the way. It's not like even a threat to go near them. But now, oh my god, dude, the jellyfish too? You can spawn that here? Oh, okay, what are you doing spawning the sidesteppers? I thought it was only gonna be cataquacks. There was hardly any cataquacks spawned on that first lap. Boring. Come on, man. We're trying to play the original GCN Peach Beach the way that, you know, they intended it before, with the actual cataquacks being hazards on the road, but now, I don't know, we're just doing something else with sidesteppers. And now the cataquacks are here, okay, but there's not that many. See, as long as I go up here, I don't have to engage with any of the obstacles on the track. I can just go up here, be just fine, take these grind rails, ignore these cataquacks, just keep getting transformed over and over again, and boom. There we go. I can even go over here and, okay, I mean, I tricked, but I didn't cling on to the wall. Okay, never mind. Okay, hey, you know what? This section is finally fun, because before it was just completely empty with nothing to do. But now, Now there's now we added like these jellyfishes that we can bounce off of. So that's fun. I mean, I guess that's enough. You know, it makes it a little faster, which is good. I'm about to die, by the way. I'm about to not get first place, which is equivalent to me dying. You know, I've been playing so much Kirby Air Riders, and the one thing I miss from that game is actually being able to slipstream people and getting faster. Whoa, 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 whoa! Wait, I actually did slipstream someone and then get launched by the Cataquack. Okay, that was a weird ending. I think that helped me in a way. I think I would have gotten third if it wasn't for that. I don't know. Either way, I wish I could just slipstream people and then catch up instantly to them, and then attack them, and then play Kirby Air Riders. But this game is fun as hell, alright? I don't like, I'm not gonna be like, okay, this game is worse than Kirby Air Riders because of this and that. No, no, no. We gotta have a more nuanced opinion here, alright? Mario Kart World is still a fantastic video game. Especially because of this update, you know? This update just makes it a whole lot better. You know, the one thing I always thought about Cheep Cheep Falls is that, you know, there's not nearly enough Cheep Cheep in these falls, you know? For a name, Cheep Cheep Falls, you sure do only see like 1 or 2 Cheep Cheep on the falls. So I think, well, what we need to do is we need to change that once and for all with Kameks Only. And I think if we do this, we're gonna see. Maybe they're even gonna be on the track itself before the water section. Nope, there's just a whole bunch of spikes. Okay, but now, see, now this is Cheep Cheep Falls right here. Look at how many Cheep Cheep are on these falls. See, this is a more accurate name for the track now. See, even I'm a Cheep Cheep. Oh, look, this is perfect. Okay, well, there's some pond Goombas and there's some Cheep Cheeps. Look at this. Look, there's some explosions. Everything's going crazy. Oh my god. See, this is more like it. This is more what I was expecting out of Cheep Cheep Falls. I mean, come on. Look at all this. This is good track design right here. This update feels like playing one of those enemy spam levels in Mario Maker. where it's just complete chaos and it's like unbeatable. And it's just not well designed at all. But you know, it's Mario Kart now. And this is kind of like what a Mario Kart Maker would look like, don't you think? If they made one of those, this would be what the regular Little Timmy levels would look like, I think. Which just means I would want it a whole lot more. Jesus Christ. The explosions are crazy. Like, the Cheep Cheep and the obstacles aren't enough. We gotta have a million explosions on the waves here. Like, Jesus. Jeez. Okay, hold on. I need to actually get in front here. I don't want to lose. Alright, I got dignity to uphold, alright? I gotta get first on Cheep Cheep Falls. Look how many Cheep Cheep are here falling. Okay, I'm gonna use this jelly float to float over the competition. Okay, come on. Dude, even the chain chomps are drowning. Uh-oh, Boom Boom is my last obstacle. No, it's alright. I can just avoid all of this, alright. Somehow I got out of that a winner. That was great. That was fantastic. I'm glad I was able to see the real Cheep Cheep Falls for what it truly was. Nintendo should just take this and make it the default version of the track, you know, a million Cheep Cheeps, or else what is the name of the track even for, you know? It's just complete nonsense. You know, I always thought that Bowser's Castle was a little too easy in this game, alright? Like, come on, this track layout just isn't engaging enough, you know? It's just too easy, too many, it's too simple to get through. So why not add a whole bunch of Kameks to really spice things up, alright? Maybe now this track will actually give me some difficulty, because before it was just too much Febreze, and now, see, there's a whole bunch of bros on the track. Oh, wow, okay. I don't know what spawns on this track. Is it just a whole bunch of bros? Oh my god. Dude, it's bros of every single color. I don't think I've ever seen the Kamek before on this track. I didn't know what spawned. That's awesome. Ow! Oh my god! Oh, see, and here you go. Here's some thwomps. See, this is a Bowser Castle that doesn't have thwomps, just like the one in Mario Kart 8, right? So now, with this update, we can finally make it in line with all the other Bowser's Castles in the series, and it has thwomps now. Fantastic. Now it's just the Mario Kart 8 Bowser's Castle that doesn't have thwomps. I'm remembering that correctly, right? I don't know, it's been a while. But I'm pretty sure it's that one and not just this one. This is the right amount of obstacles we should have on this track, alright, come on. This is the engaging gameplay we want to see. Look at all these bros, these charging chucks. This is fantastic. I'm watching the flock of Kameks going through this hole, and it's almost a little beautiful in a way. There you go. Now this is like GCN Bowser's Castle with how many thwomps there are at the beginning here. Oh my goodness. these bros. I like how they have bros in all colors, but you know, it just makes me wish, you know, we could have those bros in all those colors as playable characters. But no, of course not. Why would we have something cool like that? Also, you know what else I find funny about this update? Is this. Like, for some reason, they tell you the name of every track, which is fantastic, you know. I did a whole thread about all my findings about that. And this is weird because they still tell you it's called Mario Kart World, even though you're playing Mario Kart World. So, like, why did they need to tell you the name of the game? Like, okay, why don't you just say Bowser's Castle? Like, we know it's Mario Kart World. That's kind of funny. There were a lot of crazy, you know, since this game doesn't have, you know, an OST release yet, no Nintendo Music release, the fact that we're able to see the song names now, you know, in the game itself was pretty interesting. I found a whole lot of unique things there. Like, let's see, what's one cool thing I found? For some reason they call all the Mario Kart 8 tracks Mario Kart 8 Deluxe, which is funny. I mean, it makes sense, you know, because that's the better game, the definitive version, you could say. But I don't know, I thought they would be like a little more courteous to that and just call it the original game instead of just Mario Kart 8, but I don't know. They don't want you to remember that Mario Kart 8, the original version, exists, which is fair because it was a little lackluster at the beginning. But yeah, and I mean, there's a whole lot more, you know, a whole lot more cool things there. They call the Yoshi Valley remix Moo Moo Farm, which is true because it sounds like Moo Moo Farms and not Yoshi Valley. I keep calling it Moo Moo Farms. It's just Moo Moo Farms singular. God. But yeah, I knew it. I mean, I think for the song names, they go for the first track in the Grand Prix of whatever game it came from. They just choose the first track and then they make that the song title. I know this video is all over the place, but who cares, man? We're on to the last track here, and of course, you know, what other track could it be? What other track could we test the only Kamek's mode on, besides the very final track in the video game? Some would even say the very best one, I don't know. Who would say something like that? I don't know. Definitely not me. Maybe. Anyways, here's Rainbow Road. We're gonna see what it looks like with all these obstacles. I don't even know what spawns on Rainbow Road as obstacles. Is it just chain chomps and spike balls? I mean, it could be. I don't know. Could there be something interesting here? I'm guessing something different is gonna spawn on the lap where there's water. But for now, it's just a whole bunch of physics with these with these big balls. Jesus Christ! With these big balls. Oh my god! I can't even get through a sentence, bro. See, if you didn't think this Rainbow Road was engaging enough before, then just turn on this mode and, you know, there you go. Your problems are solved. If you think this Rainbow Road is too long and too boring, then I've got the solution just for you. Alright, now this, god damn it, I can't drift. I can't even drift, man. See, this update is basically just a choose your own difficulty meter, right? Now you can make all the tracks difficult as hell if you really want to. See, like I'm in 8th against hard CPUs. Usually I'm in 1st against them all the time. Okay, now see, they're spawning Cheep Cheeps here, which makes sense. Okay, I think they're gonna spawn some Pond Goombas as well. Maybe. I don't know why I call them Pond Goombas, I just do. They're inner tube Goombas, but that's a lot to say. Okay, there were no Pond Goombas at all, apparently, which is funny. They were just Cheep Cheeps, but now what's here? Okay, a whole bunch of explosions. Oops, it's all explosions. I'm about to die. Uh-oh. See, this update is kind of how Kirby Air Riders feels like. It's just complete chaos the entire way through. Alright, they saw, you know what they saw? They saw Sakurai's options in Kirby Air Riders for all the, you know, the settings and whatnot, the sliders for the music and the sound effects, and they were like, you know what? We can do that too. So here's normal and here's loud. Here's our options for the music in this video game that we know you love so much. We know you love so much, so we're gonna add the title in the top right corner of the screen of whatever you're listening to. And we're also gonna give you these two options, so now you can't complain at us anymore for not adding this to Nintendo Music, cause you have the loud option. Like, come on, how are you gonna complain now that we have the loud option? You know, you can make the music loud. You know, you still can't turn off the sound effects of the driving, you know, and the drifting and anything else, but you can make the music loud. So there you go. There you go, Nintendo. Thank you for that. You really proved that you're capable of giving us options. Let's be real though, this OST is coming on Nintendo Music next week. Alright, this is the part where it's anti-gravity, and I don't see many obstacles here, but Come on, add more thwomps or something. Add something. Okay. Ow! For some reason, people are lacking on the Kamek spawns right now, which is interesting. Okay, never mind. How am I supposed to land here? Okay, well, all the chain chomps got out of the way, and then they decide to go on the other section of the track, which is funny. Man, it's crazy how this whole thing is basically just anti-gravity, but, you know, anti-gravity isn't a thing in this game. At least as a feature, you know. They don't make a big deal about it. It's just there, which is how it should be. Alright, flock of Kameks, don't make me lose now. Alright, I'm so close to the end. I want to finish off strong with a nice victory, just to show that I am the master of Kamek migration. And that I'm able to, I'm able to play even though they're all migrating for the winner. God damn it. Oh my god. See, but if I'm struggling through this, then probably all the hard CPUs are struggling even more. Like, let's be real. See, I'm Nabbit. I can easily maneuver my way through these bombs. Never mind. Oh my god. Alright. A few explosions. No, please, let me glide my way through. No! No, Parabitty Bud! Whoever you are, oh my god, dude, you can't be serious. I was playing perfectly until the very end, where I get hit by one explosion, and now I'm in third place. This is a classic Mario Kart, you know. I was playing online, I was getting so angry that I was in first place all the time, and then I get hit by one thing, and I go to 7th or 16th place, and I'm like, bro, Kirby Air Riders wouldn't do this to me. But either way, you know, that's it. I just wanted to do a simple serving of what this Kamek Only mode, you know, mode, in quotations, does for the video game on a few select tracks that I was most interested in. Because, I mean, it really does change things up, you know. This update is very good. And you know what I think? I feel like they're just trying their hardest to... Nintendo is trying their hardest to update the game with as many, you know, quality of life things as they can, while... You hear this? While they're also trying to make a bigger, you know, like more content-filled DLC somewhere later down the line. But since they're spending so much time on that, trying to make it as good as they can, they just want to do a few snippets of, you know, cool things before that point. Or maybe I'm just wrong, and they were spending all this time working on the Koopa Beach intermissions and trying to make those actually good, and maybe there's not any DLC at all coming, but I don't know. Either way, I think I've yapped on enough. I mean, this was fun. Kameks Only, try this mode if you can, at least once, because you're gonna see that it's completely different than any other way you've played this video game in the past. But yeah, thank you for watching. Give it a like, give it a hype, or whatever the kids are doing nowadays. I don't know. I hardly ever hype videos, bro. It's just completely out of the way. It's like, why would I even do that? Alright, a like is enough. But either way, goodbye.